Have you had a chance to review?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 3132, State of Texas versus Kent Mitchell Sturgis. Can our parties announce for the record for the state,
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
for the
Sure.
defense?
Cheryl Patterson for the defense.
And are you Mr. Sturgis? All right, you entered a plea of no contest on May 22nd to the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments be assessed at 7 years in the prison, and the state is silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is silent. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I would like to ask Mr. Sturgis a few questions, please.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Kent Sturgis.
All right, defense?
Mr. Sturgis, in the PSI, they are recommending some sort of treatment, inpatient or outpatient. Would it benefit you if you were to be allowed to go to drug court?
Yeah, no, I have a problem, so I like to do something. Outpatient, drug court would be great.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up so the court reporter can hear.
Do you have a place that you can live while you're going through this treatment?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And it's here in San Antonio?
Yes, ma'am.
After you are finished with treatment and are successful with it, what are your plans after that?
If I could go up to Missouri and get to work, that's what I plan to do unless I can wait it all out here.
Do you have family in Missouri?
Yeah, I've got a strong support system.
Okay. Would you be willing, once you get up there, to continue some sort of treatment?
Yes, yeah, I can do that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. States you're silent, but is there any questions you have for Mr. Sturgis related to any fact issue?
No, ma'am, no questions, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, just give me one moment. All right, so Mr. Sturgis, how long have you been using drugs?
A little while now.
What does that mean?
Since I was in my teens, off and on,
And what drugs have you been using?
meth.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
How many?
I've got 3 boys and a daughter,
What are their ages?
15, 12, and 10, and I got a 2-year-old girl
And who do they reside with?
with her mom.
Okay, same mother?
I've got 3 different baby moms.
You have 3 mothers of your children.
Yes,
We don't do baby mamas in this court, okay?
yes.
And where do they live as far as, are they in Texas or somewhere else?
Missouri and Florida.
Why are you in Texas?
My mom is down here. Can't be close to her.
And so you thought to bring trouble to your mom's doorstep?
I wasn't intentionally.
All right, so I want to know about your criminal history. There is a case in here that says you received 3 years for armed criminal action. What is that?
I used a weapon on someone.
All right, tell me about that.
I came home to another man with my old lady and grabbed a hatchet and hit him with it.
Grabbed a hatchet and what?
Hit him with it.
Well, I'm assuming he survived because it's not murder.
Yeah.
Well, did he survive?
Yeah,
Where did you hit him?
on the head.
And how did you get caught in that case?
I called the cops.
And so you did 3 years in prison for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you want drug treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
And that armed criminal action case, what state was that out of? Missouri?
Yes, ma'am.
I always like to look up new laws, so I see. Okay. Any other questions for your client?
No.
All right, I always review everything before sentencing. And I do see that during this offense, it appears that you were extremely high because it says that you were sweating and driving around with no clothes on. I'm going to give you a choice. Deputy Laura always says probation in this court is very hard. And the reason why it's designed so is because I want people to be rehabilitated. And I don't do cookie cutter probation for people. It's each person I see before me is an individual. I don't see people as criminals. They're human beings who've done some bad things. So they're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 7 years. If you would like, I will give you probation, or I can sentence you to 4 years in the prison.
I'll take probation if I could.
Okay. All right, then this is what the court will do. I'm going to sentence you to 7 years in the prison. It will be suspended and probated for 8 years. There is a $1,500 fine that will be probated. 300 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes and probation. If you can see which parenting class would probably fit best for him. So if you think compadre, Ramos, whichever one. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. He's going to do the UA hotline upon release until further notice. We'll do a referral to felony drug court, and that's in custody. If he's not accepted, then we're going to follow the recommendations from the TAP evaluation, and they are saying SATIF.
Yes, Charlotte.
Okay, so if not accepted, then follow TAP recommendations. If you were released, who would you be staying with?
Miss Gay and Church, Texas.
Oh, you're gonna be here. How far is Sturgis from here?
It's just.
Thank
it's
you.
like
You know, I don't know. I haven't learned, even though I've been here for a while, I haven't learned all the areas in Texas yet. It's close.
Yes.
Okay. But Sean, you know, when I first came to Texas and I was trying to find St. Mary's University, my mom was driving. And it was such a long drive from Louisiana because we went through Houston and we never should have done that. It would say, there would be a sign that says you are leaving San Antonio. And we were like, quick, get off the freeway. And of course, we're not, I found out we were so not leaving San Antonio. So I'm still learning. So TAP recommendations. So who's in the home where you would be staying?
An older lady friend of mine,
Well, what is your relationship with her?
just friends. She took me in whenever I was out there struggling, trying to get me right.
Does she have children?
Yeah, she has a son,
Age?
my age.
Oh,
He's 36.
she has a 36-year-old. When are grown people going to get their own place instead of living with their mom? At some point, kick people out of the nest. So when is she planning on kicking him out of the nest?
Got no idea.
Now she has 2 grown people living in her house. All right, check on that location to see if it's appropriate. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Actually, I'm going to give him 45 days because his criminal history is such, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him. So 45 days upon release. Ms. Abrams, is there anything else he needs?
Your Honor, in regards to his community service hours, are you going to give him any credit for his parenting class?
Yes. So once he completes parenting classes, he will be done.
Yes, Your Honor. And nothing else on my end.
All right, is there anything you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
Um,
All right, any mental health issues or anything like that with you? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeals, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better. If you don't do better, you're looking at 7 years in prison. So from here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me going to prison for 7 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And that lady who decided to take you in and now she will have you, a grown person, and her grown son live in the house. Make her life easy. Don't bring drama to her doorstep. Don't be fighting over what people get to watch on television. Mow the lawn, do something to help her to earn your keep. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You. Who's here on Jeremiah Escoto Martinez?
May we approach?
Yes. In a moment, I'm going to take up first Stephen Salinas. Stephen Salinas?
Yeah, we're present, ready, Judge.
All right, if you come down, please. Court is calling 2015 CR 12154, State of Texas versus Stephen Allen Salinas. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks, the state of Texas.
Defense?
Robert Gear, Your Honor, for defendant Stephen Salinas, and we are ready.
And are you Stephen Salinas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did.
Are you the same Stephen Allen Salinas who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2015 CR 12154 for the offense of continuous violence against family on March 16, 2016 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 2 on or about the 19th day of October 2020 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Stephen Allen Salinas, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely cocaine, in violation of condition number 2.
Just one moment. How do you plead to that? True or not true?
That's true.
State,
The state will waive and abandon the other allegations.
any objection?
No objections from defense, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
That's true.
Do you still wish to plead true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement and recommendation, should Your Honor choose to follow it, is to revoke the defendant's community supervision, to sentence the defendant, to adjudicate the case and sentence the defendant to 2 years in the Texas Department of Corrections and give him credit for any time he's already served.
All right, why should I sentence him to the minimum? Has he done anything on probation?
Yes, Judge, may it please the court. Defendant was charged with continuing violence. He did attend and complete the BIP course in this matter to address that. There was also some allegations of drug use.
Just 1 second.
Sorry.
All right, you may continue.
Yes, Judge, sorry. In addressing the alleged drug use, he did attend and complete the Bear outpatient program in this matter. Because of these charges, there was also CPS intervention with the. his-
Why are you crying?
Because I lost my son.
In what way did you lose your son? Did he pass?
No.
All right. All right, so you lost your son because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. That's what, these are called consequences.
No.
You may continue.
Yes, Judge, thank you. CPS intervened and he had to take multiple classes in regards to CPS, parenting, counseling, the whole works over there. He also did complete 117 hours of community service in this matter, Judge. The one allegation of drug use was from October of 2020. Judge will look at the back page. From then until he was expired in March, there was a whole page full of negative tests between then and the expiration of his probation. We understand that we're here because he was not a perfect probationer, but we will affront to the court that he did do quite a bit of what he was required to do, including the classes, the community service hours, and tending to the issues made the basis of this case. Thank you.
All right, state, why should I follow this agreement?
Your Honor, I would echo what defense said, because he completed many of the terms on probation, drug treatment. And at the end of his probation, he was providing negative drug tests on his UAs.
All right, probation, is there anything you wish to say?
Your Honor, the case expired in 2021, so we're past the year mark, jurisdiction and so forth. The recommendation from probation is to revoke or terms unsatisfactory if the balance is paid in full.
All right, so you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand and state your name for the record.
That's Steven Salinas.
All right, Mr. Salinas. So what happened with your CPS case?
Well, like,
Were your rights terminated?
yes, ma'am.
And was your son adopted out?
He was.
Is it to people you know or not know?
I mean, it's to her family, but it's hard to see him.
All right. So when's the last time you used before you were taken into custody?
Last time I used.
Mhm.
A long time ago, ma'am.
When is that?
I mean, October of 2020, I really don't do anything. I go to work. I mean, I drink beer after work, but that's about it.
Can't be drinking beer because that causes slip up. Don't change one addiction for another.
Yes,
It's sort of,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
when I see a lot of people in treatment, guess what? They don't use cocaine or whatever anymore, but they chain smoke. So you've got to do better. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So did you have employment?
Yes, ma'am. I've been a technician for Sun Auto for about 3.5 years, and then the last couple of months I've been self-employed as a mobile mechanic.
Okay.
On top of that, I was just about to go to college and everything before I got picked up. And I did check to see if there was a warrant to take care of this, but
But I mean, did you think this was just going to go away?
I mean, I didn't know what happened after. Just after my PO told me that probation was over, and then when it came time for just for me to get my ID, that's when I was calling in to see if I had a warrant to take care of all this, and I would have been here sooner.
All right. And are you still in contact with Savannah Franson?
I haven't spoken to her in years.
All right. Is there any other questions from either side?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
Well, it appears that he completed all of the conditions that were asked of him. It appears that he hasn't picked up any new cases. Am I right?
That is correct. Your
And the cocaine positive UA is from 2020.
You are correct, Your Honor.
And so we're in 2023 now.
That's correct.
And so is there any suspicion that he has used beyond that 2020 date from either side?
Judge,
State has no evidence of that.
Judge from defense, we have no suspicion. I know from chatting with him, he's been employed, gainfully employed. And I would assume that continuously gainful employment would negate the use and the consequences that stem from that, Judge.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation condition number 2 true. There is to be no contact with Savannah, Savannah, Francine, Francen. And if it wasn't stated before by the previous judge, there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Court will deny the motion and terminate you on set. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further from the state. Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. You are going to have to make better decisions. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When you have an obligation, you can't just think, oh, I'm doing great, so I don't have to answer to the obligations. Part of drug treatment is making amends. And part of making amends is making amends to people that you've entered into contracts with. You understand?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
only reason why I'm terminating you on set because these allegations are from 2020. According to the probation report, it shows that you've done everything that you were supposed to do on probation. Yes, you owe some court fees, but it's not due to restitution. Are we off the record? Okay, I just want to make sure. All right. With regards to your child, you know the people who have your child.
Yeah.
Sometimes in CPS cases, strangers adopt children and you don't know who have them.
I know.
So you need to straighten out your life. I don't know what your relationship is with your in-laws or what's going on, but I do know that sometimes if someone has a child who was with you, right? And they are not the child their parent wanted to be, sometimes the parent blames the person who was with them. So you need to better yourself, and maybe if you get your life together, 100%, they'll let you see your child. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jose Coronado?
I be excused.
Yes, you may be excused. You're welcome.
Mr. Salinas.
Oh, who's here on Blas Casemiro? Court is calling 2023 CR 1288, State of Texas versus Blas Christian Casemiro. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Forrest Good on behalf of the defense.
And are you Mr. Casemiro? Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Blas Christian Casemiro Jr. who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 1288 for the offense of evading arrest or detention 2 or more on April 25th, 2023 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Blas Christian Casemiro Jr., the then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed on May 25th, 2023, in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
That state waives all of the violations, Judge.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
Judge, there's no agreement. we're going over to the court.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
We're requesting 18 months in the city jail.
Defense, what are you requesting?
We're requesting a state fee and a continuation of probation.
Probation, what is your recommendation on Mr. Casemiro?
Your Honor, recommendation is revocation.
All right, what I can tell you, because your client has 2 pending offenses, they're not going to accept him. So I don't know, what has he done on probation?
Your Honor, he failed to report to probation. He hasn't done anything.
He had a very rough start, Your Honor. And it was only until before he got arrested that he was starting to make moves towards being able to
And why was he arrested?
possession and trespass, Your Honor.
See, the number 1 rule when you're on probation is don't pick up any more cases. Not only did he pick up more cases, but he hasn't done anything, didn't report, didn't do anything. There's nothing for me to do with that. He hasn't done anything. Obviously, he doesn't want to be on probation.
I do need to just, when I called, I was at the hospital, I was sick, I had a
All
fever.
right, you want to raise your right hand for me?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Blas Casemiro.
All right. So here's the thing. You're under oath. That means the state can get you, is allowed to ask you questions. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So for me, the fact that you were in the hospital, allegedly, it didn't stop you from picking up a criminal trespass in a drug case.
Yes, ma'am.
So again, we're back to the point, why can people not report? That's the easiest thing to do. You just report. If there's an issue, if there's a drug use issue, if there's a mental health issue, I'll address that. But I cannot have the report. And not only did he not report, he allegedly picked up new cases. And I remember this case. I'm the one who wrote everything down. And I wrote this down based upon my evaluation of him, and he did nothing. All he did while he was on probation was pick up new cases. So there, I can't help him. He doesn't want to be helped. And
Okay.
sometimes you can't help people. All right, I'm going to find you guilty, grant the motion. Counsel, do you want to speak? The state is asking for 18 months.
We ask for a year.
All right. So then the question becomes, what is his criminal history? Why are we at 18 months? Because I can
Judge,
sentence you to the full 2 years.
the main reason why I did 18 months, as far as I could tell, there was no violent criminal history that he'd been convicted on. There were a few cases. It was also due to the fact that since he was on deferred, and he did nothing, that was another consideration why I went more than a year.
Thank you. All right, counsel, anything you wish to say?
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility. I'll give you credit for any time served. If you would like, I can request that you be placed in the therapeutic community. It doesn't increase your time in the facility, but it's just something that may can help you if you have a drug or alcohol use issue. Would you like that?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to ask for the therapeutic community as well.
And Judge, the state will take into consideration the 2 other open cases.
Okay, and then the state is saying that they're going to take into consideration the other cases, so you won't have those. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is not a plea bargaining agreement, so you do have a
So what is
limited
this?
right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on probation. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're off the record. You have a question?
So I'm going to prison, right?
You're going to the state jail facility. It's slightly different from prison, but it's still prison.
All right, thank you.
All right. You're gonna have to do better. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
Who's here on? All right, who's here on Michael Johnston?
I am, Judge. We're ready.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 1649, State of Texas versus Michael Keith Johnston. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Richard Garcia for the defense. Ready, Judge?
Are you Mr. Johnston?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor, yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Johnston, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Fine.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor, I
Do
do.
you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnston, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's $57 for drug testing. There's to be regular UAs, sober support meetings once a week. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Your Honor, I submit State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sorry, state, you can continue to confer.
Thank you.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking that you waive the PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we just ask that you follow the plea bargain agreement.
All right, Mr. Johnson, when's the last time you had employment before being arrested?
It's been a while,
What's a while?
years.
Why are you not working?
Me and my grandmother we were having issues at the time, and she had my my paperwork,
How old are you?
Me, they're 29 going on 30.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
So if you were released, do you have a place to stay?
Yes, ma'am.
Who would that be with?
My grandmother's house.
Does she want you there?
She's told me time and time to come back.
Okay,
He takes care of his grandmother, Judge.
okay. All right, what's your drug of choice?
So I prefer to use meth.
Okay, how often have you been using before being arrested?
Once or twice, about every week.
All right. How far did you go in school?
High school.
What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
First, plan on getting clean and plan on trying to get my shit together. But
Okay. You know, somebody told me a joke about that. They said they don't want it, and they don't have it.
Right.
Just use that in your mind. The worst thing is to go up creek
Yeah.
with, and you know, my mom explained to me, she's like, if you're going up there without a paddle, that means you have to use your hands.
That's right.
So, all right. 4 years deferred adjudication, $57 restitution for drug testing. I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court. That's to be while in custody. If they don't accept him, then I'm going to want a TAP evaluation while in custody and to follow TAP recommendations. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days upon release. 100 hours of community service restitution. Regular UAs. Well, regular random UAs. Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. And if everything is okay after that, then 1 time per month, every 3 months. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
no, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Oh, you have to go around, Richard.
No.
Did you review? It's an invisible wall there, right? Did you review that with that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, from here on out, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. If you have an issue, communication in this court is key. Just let probation know. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, what? Oh, okay.